flat out said it, but it was always clear he was their favorite. If he got into trouble, it was he's just figuring things out. If I messed up, oh boy, it was the end of the world. That dynamic never really changed, even as we got older. When it came time for college, my parents really showed how deep their favoritism went. They took out a second mortgage on their house to pay for my brother's tuition. It was a big deal, and they struggled with the payments for years. By the time I was ready for college, there wasn't anything left for me. I had to figure it out on my own. Scholarships, part-time jobs, the whole grind. Don't get me wrong, I'm proud of how I handled it, but there was definitely some resentment simmering beneath the surface. Fast forward to now, and I've managed to land a pretty decent job. It pays well enough that I started helping my parents out financially. They're still paying off that second mortgage. So for the past couple of years, I've been sending them $650 a month to lighten their load. It wasn't something they asked for. I just felt like I could, so I should. But here's the thing. Despite all that, it still feels like they don't really see me. My brother is still the star of the show, even though he hasn't exactly done much since college. Let's talk about my brother for a second. He's been dating this girl for about 3 years now, and from what I've heard, things aren't great. She's been dropping hints, and by hints, I mean practically neon signs that she wants him to propose, but he's been dragging his feet. Honestly, I don't think he's ready for marriage, but that's not really my business. I've stayed out of it because, well, who wants to get involved in someone else's relationship drama? That was until last Saturday when I got a call from my mom. It was around lunchtime, and I was just chilling at home with my fiancé, going over some final detail for the wedding. You know, little things like table arrangements and flower choices. My mom called and said, "Hey, can you come over? We need to talk." Her tone was serious, like something big was going on. Naturally, I asked what it was about, but all she said was, "You'll understand when you get here." I'm not going to lie, I was a little annoyed. First of all, we were in the middle of wedding planning. Second, I hate when people do the whole "we need to talk" thing without telling you what it's about directly. It's like they want you to stress about it on the way there. My fiancé could tell I was irritated and asked if I wanted to just ignore it and keep working on the wedding stuff. I thought about it, but I had to find out what was so serious it couldn't be said over the phone. I told my fiancé I'd head over and try to make it quick. "How bad could it be?" I said. She rolled her eyes but didn't argue. Looking back, I probably should have stayed home. So I showed up at my parents' house, and it was like walking into some kind of intervention. My brother was sitting on the couch with this smug look, and my parents were perched across from him like they'd rehearsed some big speech. The vibe was way too formal for a casual family chat, and immediately I felt on edge. I sat down, and my mom launched into her pitch. She started with how family is so important and how big moments are best shared with loved ones. Then she dropped the bomb. My brother had this amazing idea to propose to his girlfriend during my wedding reception. She actually said it would be so romantic and the perfect time since all the family would already be there. My brother, of course, was grinning ear to ear like this was the most genius plan anyone had ever come up with. I didn't even let her finish. I cut her off mid-sentence with a flat. Absolutely not. I mean, who even thinks like this? It's my wedding, the day my fiancé and I have been planning for over a year. How is it okay to just hijack that for his relationship drama? I expected some pushback, but I didn't expect them to double down the way they did. My dad jumped in with his classic family should support each other speech, acting like I was being unreasonable for saying no. Then my brother decided to chime in, calling me selfish and accusing me of ruining his big moment. His big moment. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked him point blank, "Why can't you plan your own proposal instead of piggybacking off my wedding?" He shrugged and said it was the perfect opportunity because all the family would already be there and it would be less work for him. I could feel my blood boiling. I tried to stay calm at first, but they just kept pushing. My mom said I was overreacting and that a proposal wouldn't take away from the wedding. She even had the audacity to suggest that it would make the day more memorable. My dad nodded along like this was the most logical thing in the world. And my brother just sat there looking so smug, like he thought he'd already won. That's when I lost it. I told them loud and clear that if they even thought about going through with this, they'd all be uninvited from the wedding. And I didn't stop there. I reminded them about the $650 I send them every month to help with their mortgage, the same mortgage they took out to put my brother through college. I told them if they couldn't respect me and my fiancée on our day, that money would stop immediately. The room went dead silent after that. My mom looked like she was about to cry, and my dad just stared at me like I'd slapped him. My brother, though, he didn't back down. He started yelling about how I was being unfair and how I was holding the family hostage with money. He said I was punishing them just because he wanted to do something special for his girlfriend. I told him that if his idea of special was crashing someone else's wedding, maybe he wasn't ready to get married in the first place. At that point, I'd had enough.